Hi, this is Professor Mike Strahan, librarian at Northern Michigan University Olson Library. In this video, we're going to perform an advanced search in ERIC using the thesaurus and combining concepts together along with looking at research articles only and also by grade level. So we're going to start here with the guide. This guide will change in August of 2019, but the principles that we use in searching and also the general appearance won't change. The guide itself will move to a tabs format instead of a longer layout like it is now. So we're going to scroll on down, click on the ERIC link. Always make sure you're using our links to our databases and journals, not going directly to the publisher site. When you click on ERIC or any of these databases, it will prompt you to log in, whether you're on campus or whether you're off campus at a distance. Won't matter. After we click on the link to the database, it will present us with a search screen. And as we do with most of our subject-specific databases, although I know that students and faculty alike prefer doing straight keyword searches, there's a lot of disadvantages to that. You really want to focus on your topic area. You don't want to look at keywords that are mentioned in passing in the abstract. So we start by clicking on the Online Thesaurus. After we click on the Online Thesaurus, I recommend you expand the window, and we're going to be searching on dyslexia, and we're also going to be looking at identifying dyslexia. So let's start off with dyslexia. Hit enter. Gives us the term itself. I want to explode it. At this point, I'm not looking at major articles focusing on it. We're focusing on it as a major topic. It's going to be in combination with other topics. If I want to look at related terms of dyslexia or how they define it, I can choose these. We're going to be doing that a little bit later. Next thing I want to do is search on identification terms and related terms. So I click on the thesaurus again. It has a carryover of our dyslexia term, and let's type in identification. Lots of different types: disability identification, early identification. The broadest heading will be identification. How do I know that? If I click on disability identification, it gives me an outline. And it says the broader term is going to be identification. So that's the term that I want. I'm going to explode that. If I want to see the narrower terms under identification, I click on the term itself. So it'll give me ability, clinical diagnosis, those terms. But I also want to look at what related terms. So if I click on the double box here, it tells me that how the term has been used over the course of the database since 1966. And it gives me related terms. And the two that I'm interested in for our purposes is screening tests and diagnostic tests. Because I've selected these three, I want to look at either identification or screening tests or diagnostic tests, so I leave this combined using or, so to look at any of those. I add that to the search, and now my results, when I go to run this, will be to look at dyslexia and either identification or screening tests or diagnostic tests. I'm interested in research articles. All research articles are peer-reviewed. However, not all peer-reviewed articles are research articles. And so I'm going to ignore clicking on peer review, and what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go down here to document type. and I'm going to select the document type that relates to research. I could look at other types of analyses. For our purposes, I'm going to be looking at reports, research, check off both of those. They also have evaluative reports. I'm going to grab those. I'm also interested in education level. I'm skipping over language because most of the articles that are in here are English language. Those that say access full text only focus on a specific language means that we have that journal online. In other words, it's pretty redundant to click on the other ProQuest full text packages that are that language, because those things are, for example, directly from the publisher. So my education level, when you see, I want to look at something like this where it has, and I also want to look at abstract details, get this for me, but no access full text. I could, if I wanted to, PDF, instead of looking at all that we don't have education. Let's try that instead. I'm going to uncheck that. And besides early childhood, I want to look at grades 1 through 3. So I've identified my education level. I've identified my document type for research articles. I've put in my terms. I'm all ready to go. Click on search. I have 16. As I scroll through these, they're either in reverse chronological order. And now that I see my results, I think what I want to do is modify my search. 16 may not be enough to screen from. So I'm going to click on Modify Search. Goes back to my search screen. I'm going to uncheck the grades 1, 2, and 3, and instead I am going to replace that with elementary education. So now I have early childhood and elementary education. After making that change, I click on Search. Now I have 33. I have twice what I had before. So now we have a fair amount to work with. When you're looking at this information for the results, one thing to keep in mind is accessing these materials. Olson Library provides me over 75,000 journals online. We also do have some titles in print, but most of our collection is online. There's also education journals and psychology journals we do not subscribe to, and so I'm going to talk about how to address that. Other types of resources or tools that are available here is some of these journals, articles, also give us the references. And we can look at those references before even looking at the articles. So for example, this one is showing 97 references. I can click on the references link. It displays all 97 of those references. And from these screens, each of these also has a get this for me. It may have some PDFs if we have them online. That type of stuff, so they get full text. So before you even go to look at the original article, you can look at the cited sources and retrieve those also. I'm going to click on Back to Results. Another feature that's built into this database is cited by. So this particular article published in 2017 and the one following it was also cited by newer articles. So I'll take the one here that has 6. So if I click on cited by, it will give me the 6 articles that have cited the viewing phonological deficit article. And I can also, in this case, none of these we have subscriptions to, but I can request them. So I'm going to go back for that. So let's take a look at retrieving some of these articles, or if we don't have them, how to go from there. So the first one on the list was published in March of 2019, published in Psychology in the Schools. I always tell students and faculty, look at more details about the article before you decide whether you're going to request it or not, or retrieve it. So click on the title of the article. It gives me the abstract, these under details, the subject headings, the identifiers. Identifiers are terms that are really helpful, but they're not thesaurus terms. So things like middle school, secondary education, levels of schools, different types of tests you're also going to find as identifiers. Gives you the title, the author. The little ID icon here is that they have links to an external site that will give you more information about the author, the publication title, volume, issue, page numbers, date, the document types, and it will also, if the article has been assigned a DOI, it will give you that DOI. This is a standard format. It's not the APA format, but it gives that information to you. Over on the right-hand side, you can also, it also gives you all the subject headings that were used, and you could also go back and search those if you wish. We're pretty happy with our search right now. What I recommend is using the Cite Tool that's built into ERIC and the other, most of the other databases that we provide access to. Because then you have the citation information. Click on the Cite Tool. The default in this database in ERIC is going to be APA style. So what we're going to do is we want to copy and paste the citation into our paper. So we go up here, highlight it, and then after we paste it, I'll show you how to modify the DOI format to match the current APA style. So we click on copy. You can also right click and choose copy. A lot of different ways to do this. Switch over to our Word document. Click on paste or do Control V. We don't want to do the A choice because it'll get rid of everything that was italicized. First thing we're going to do is modify the DOI. The current format does not begin with DOI colon. It is https://doi.org. Once we have that correctly formatted, then we can highlight our reference, right-click on it, go to paragraph, do special hanging, make sure it's double-spaced, click on OK, and now we have our reference on our references list. Next, we'll go back to our results. Click on Done. Next, I want to access the article. I click on Access Full Text. Once you see the prompt, click on that link. It'll open up a separate tab or window. And in this case, it will take us to the publisher website for this journal. Always use the PDF version of the article, especially because it'll put the illustrations where they belong. It will also have page numbers, which you need for direct quotes. And you can also optionally use for paraphrasing. Click on that PDF, depending upon how you have your browser set up. You can either display it or you can right-click and download it. And you can go from there. What I'm going to do is go back to my results screen. Now, one of these articles we didn't own, the ready to read, having to do with state policies. We had a number of them we didn't have. So in order to request this, whether we have this journal in print or whether we don't have it at all I need to do is click on Get This For Me, and I'm Olson Library. Click on Continue. From here, click on Get This For Me. It will prompt you to log into our interlibrary loan system. You're going to type in your username and password. I clicked on Login, and then it will populate the online interlibrary loan request form with all the information that they need. It gives us the title, automatically the author, the date. This is a journal article. It has the page number. The important thing you need to enter is the needed before date, and this is in a 4-digit year, 2-digit month, 2-digit day. Also, add your phone number. It's always helpful. We will send you an email when the material comes in. Most of the time, well, especially for articles, they're going to digitize it, and then you'll have 28, and then you will have 4 weeks to access that article after you and retrieve it off of the server after you get the email from us. I went back to our entry. I'm going to click on Back to Results. So we've talked about accessing full text. We've also talked about getting it if we don't have it, how to do references, looking for the citing in works that cited a particular work. And as you notice, some of these also have full text PDF. If it's already there, you notice there isn't a Get This For Me. There isn't a link that says access full text, because this particular journal we have online is one of our ProQuest packages. In that case, same as before, click on the title of the article and it'll allow you to download the PDF. What I highly recommend is whether you're opening up those PDFs, save them together. Save them in a folder in your documents or on your desktop. Give it by course number, whatever works best for you. In this case, I have my browser set. It's going to prompt it and download it. Give it a name that you'll remember. Some of them just give numbers. And then remember where you saved it. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us at the library. Contact me directly as the library liaison to SELPS and to other departments. Thank you.